Hello everyone, this is the teaser video for this Sunday, February 15th. And we're going to be talking about a subject that probably a lot of you have already heard before. If you've been involved in any churches that did spiritual gift surveys, or if you've gone through any membership class where they've had you take spiritual gift surveys to kind of get an idea what your spiritual gifts are and what the Lord has equipped you to do. We're going to be looking at Romans chapter 12, verses 3 through 8. And this is Paul talking to the Church of Rome. And he lists some different gifts in there. I think he lists about 6 different gifts in there. And he talks about how we're all called to use our gifting and use that to serve God as God has equipped us. And all those gifts listed in there are things that make up basically things that are needed in a congregation, in a church, in a denomination. You need people who can do all of these different, have all these different gifts to do all those different facets of ministry. And I think it's a good way of looking at it as an analogy of like a sports team. We had the Super Bowl this past Sunday, and you have teams that work their way through the playoffs in the regular season, and usually the teams that reach the Super Bowl are the teams in which everyone's able to do their job well. And it takes everyone doing their job well for success. It takes the receivers, the quarterbacks, the running backs, the linemen, the defensive linemen, the kickers, all those to make the team be successful and win. And when they all work together, the team is at its highest point and they can reach their biggest goals. And it's the same thing with the church. It's everyone using their ministries to serve, and that's when the church is working at its best. Now, what I've found is you see Paul lists 6 different ministries here and gifts. What I've found is that most people think it's important that either the pastoral staff or people focus on the gift that they think is most important or which is closer to their heart. And that's just not the case, because we all have different things that are close to our heart. So what we see here is figuring out what our ministries are and having everyone focus on what they do well and do that to serve the Lord. You can have multiple gifts, but I would say it's probably very rare that you have all 6 of them. And our job as pastoral staff is to help people find out what their gifts are, and so they can be actively involved in ministry. But you want all 6 of these gifts actually integrated within people in the congregation and not the pastoral staff, because pastors come and go. If you've been in any church for any length of time, then you've had pastoral changes. But if you have the gifts in the ministry of the congregation, then the church is still functioning while the pastoral search is going on, and it should be operating at a high level, because the staff should not be determining how the ministries are being fulfilled and people are serving and using their gifts. We may help oversee, but obviously we're not gifted to do everything. So if a church is going through a change, it works better and it stays healthier when you have people in the congregation with a passion in those ministries who are continuing to run the ministries while the church goes through those changes. So what I'm challenging you to do for the teaser video is look at the 6 gifts, figure out what they are or what they're talking about, and do we have those ministries active and running and doing well at Pembroke? And if not, how can we get that to be that way? And which gifts are you do you have, and how can they be used and served? So that's what we're looking to do. I know there's a little freeze frame there, but you still had the audio. I look forward to seeing everyone on Sunday. Until then, take care and be safe.